Right.
So we're talking today about the book series you've been working on, The Caregiver's Advocate. You have two out and you're working on the third, right? And I saw on LinkedIn, your LinkedIn description, I looked you up on there and I saw that you were actually working with 21 authors from four different countries. Can you talk a little about that? How did you gather that network of people together?
Yeah, yeah, and it's through LinkedIn. So, yeah, I mean, just to tell you ahead of time, but
Yeah.
yes, absolutely. It was yeah, it was a good experience. It's been fantastic.
You just kind of networked on LinkedIn and found people kind of going through the same experiences as you?
Yeah, yeah, I looked up people that had experience. I looked at their posts to see, who was sharing things that resonated, that kind of aligned with my heart, because
Yeah.
I wanted it to have the right look and feel, and I didn't want it to be something you know, that was way out there. So I
Right.
got people that had published things that I resonated with and things that were helpful and useful, and people who had a heart for caregivers, not people who were
Mhm.
just out to sell something.
Right. Right. So, but with that, you want to get the information out to as many people as possible. So, what have been your strategies for advertising? Was it mainly Amazon?
Yeah, we use Brave Healer Productions. That's a publishing company. They approached me first about doing a book with
Mhm.
them, and so I had never done a collaboration book before. I've self-published 12 books, but hadn't used a publisher or done a collaboration. So it was a brand new
Mhm.
venture for me, but I was excited about it. And the reason too that I went with people from different countries is because dementia is not just something that's limited to the US. That is, it's a worldwide epidemic. And so I wanted to gather other opinions, people who I thought, well, maybe my friends in Canada know something that we don't know. Maybe my friends in the UK know something that we don't know. So
And so, what'd you
that's
find? Was there another country that kind of was able to give you more insight on some things that we weren't aware of here in America?
it was interesting because in this book, in the Caregiver's Advocate 3, I have a gentleman from Nigeria who is writing a chapter. And as I was talking with him, he said one of their biggest issues that they run into is that many people feel that dementia is a form of demon possession
Interesting.
or witchcraft. And so when their loved one is having all these problems and the issues and stuff, they take them to this voodoo doctor to have the demons driven out of them. And quite often the people die in the process of this. And so
Oh,
it's just,
wow.
oh, it's horrific. It's like, oh
Hmm.
my,
Yeah.
okay, did not know.
Wow. Yeah, that
Lack
is
of
very different.
education.
That
Mm-hmm.
would be an interesting chapter to read there, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Exactly.
how do you differentiate between, like a question from my personal experience, dementia and Alzheimer's?
How do I differentiate
Yeah.
between Alzheimer's or,
Yeah, how do you
well,
know like which it is? Because a lot of the times you don't until like after the death already occurred. That's kind of the way it was with my grandparents anyways, but maybe there's better treatment now or better awareness.
there's there's better testing now.
Yeah.
And so they can do brain scans and see if it's Alzheimer's. Alzheimer's typically has the plaques and tangles in the brain,
Okay.
and so it'll show up on an MRI. Parkinson's is very hard to diagnose because the symptoms mimic a lot of other diseases.
Mhm.
So it's more challenging. You have to really do a process of elimination with it. And then vascular dementia is usually brought on by a lot of mini strokes, which could be by uncontrolled high blood pressure, things like that. Diabetes, that is a big risk factor. And so people and cholesterol, high cholesterol. So people who have any of those diseases need to make sure that they really keep their numbers in check, and then they can reduce their odds of getting dementia. But yeah, there's a lot of crossover that's the same. A lot of
Yeah.
things are the same across all different forms of dementia, or the majority of them.
Yeah.
But then there are differentiating things that are in just specific types of dementia that have their own
Right.
unique sets. So that knowledge is what helps, is just studying and reading it, which is why I wanted to get into these caregivers advocate books, because it's not a lot of fluff, it's a lot of information. And it's not talking way above anyone's head, it's down to earth, breaking it down in common language. and explaining this is what you can do when that happens. Because what I found when I was in the situation and dad's hallucinating, I couldn't care less what's happening in his brain at that point. What I
Yeah.
wanted to know was, how do I deal with it? What can I do?
Yeah.
How can I make it better? How can I lower the odds of this happening again? Real practical advice. And
Yeah.
that's what
What
I
is the
specialize
practical
in.
advice for that situation when family members don't know how to handle that when they're talking
Yeah.
about things that never occurred?
Yeah. Well, first off, don't argue with them because
Hmm.
they're they have seen it with their eyes and you're telling them it doesn't exist. They're going to think you're nuts.
Right.
And all that's going to do is cause a problem. So just go along with them as best that you can and try to reassure them that everything's okay, that it's all going to be fine, and distract, get them
Right.
to
So be a
something
listener and
different.
distract would kind of be the advice there.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and keep them
Absolutely.
safe and keep them safe. And
Yes.
I would
And give
imagine
reassurance and
the
just that you love
safety
them.
issue that families experience would be the timing when they're kind of looking for this information that you're putting out there.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't know what
Yeah, they're,
stage that they're seeking,
oh,
this the
all
assistance. Oh, okay.
all stages, because when it first starts, you can have the symptoms of just the constant repeating, which can make you nuts because you're repeating yourself over and over and over. Well, there's things that you can do. And that's when you bring in distraction. It's a great tool. And you may direct them to a snack or direct them to a book or just, whatever it is, but just change that track that they're on because they get stuck in a loop. And so you just break them off that loop and then they can get stuck in another loop, but
Yeah.
at least you have a little variety.
Right.
At least it's a
Right. But I
different
think
one.
it's definitely important to know, like, don't try arguing back and forth because that's not going to go
Yeah,
anywhere good.
arguing is never good because then it stresses them out, and stress makes the disease progress faster.
Right.
So you're actually harming them when you argue with them. So
Right.
don't argue, just
Right.
agree. I was trying to get mom inside the house. It was freezing cold. We're on the front porch. Mom had vascular dementia, and she says, "Oh, look at those cute little monkeys in the tree." Hey, first off, there's no tree, and there's certainly no monkeys in the tree. But instead, I said, "Oh, yeah, aren't they cute?" And I'm trying to get her in the house. She doesn't want to go in. She wants to stay out and watch the monkeys. And so I said, Mom, I bet those monkeys are cold. Let's go in and get them a jacket. And she says, Oh, what a great idea. So in the door we go.
Yeah.
Once we're inside, the monkeys are gone. She's forgotten about
So it
them.
helps
She
to play
doesn't.
along a little bit. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. Improv is your best friend.
Yep.
Just figure out where they are and try to live with them in their reality because they can't
Mhm.
live in ours. So we have the power and the ability to live in their reality. So that's what we need to do.
Can you talk a little bit about how you got started with this business, like what your career looked like before you had this kind of career change and took this path?
Yes, I was in business. I had worked up through the ranks and was traveling coast to coast with a large retail company. Loving life, had my plan in place. I was going to retire with that company. I'd been there for 15 years, so well on my way. But my job caused me to travel Tuesday through Thursday quite often. And that became an issue because mom was the first diagnosed with vascular dementia and she was very high functioning, so things were okay in the beginning. And then dad got Parkinson's, and that really complicated the issue fast. And then a little later, my mother-in-law started having issues as well. And I was like, oh my gosh,
Free.
I cannot, I cannot keep up with all of this. I can't do it
Mhm.
all. We have to make a decision. And so I chose my parents and take care of them, which I don't regret at all. But it was a hard adjustment. It was a very
Mhm.
hard adjustment. And so, just income gone. And I was making really good money. So that was a big adjustment too. But also
Yeah.
the sense of self-worth and all the things that I'd worked for and everything. So it was a real struggle to adjust. But, once you get into it, then my business tools actually helped a lot in caregiving because I knew project management. I One of my specialties was taking chaos and turning it into order. And that's fantastic because dementia is chaos. And
Right.
so it was really good. But I didn't think about forming my company until my dad had already passed away. My mother-in-law was here in our house. We moved her in with us. She had Alzheimer's. and she was in the late stages, and I had hospice come in really late because I just didn't know any better. And the hospice nurse saw some of the things that my husband and I had created. And so we made a bed alert system and a door safety system and some clothing and different things like that. And
You
she
made
said,
it?
yeah, we created it. And so
Oh, wow.
the hospice nurse was like, "Where did you read about this?"
Yeah.
And I said, "I didn't read about it anywhere. The stuff on the market did not work for us. So I had to make something that would work for us." And she said the sentence that changed the trajectory of my life, because she said, "Other caregivers really need to know this information. This would help them." And I was just shocked. I
Yeah, I'm
didn't
immediately
realize that
thinking like, were
anybody.
you able to like sell any products based on making those things? I don't know.
No, that's what I thought initially, and I haven't had time to do it.
Yeah.
So no, I have not,
It
which
just
is
sounds
a
like an
shame.
opportunity there.
It is, it
Yeah.
is. I know. I'm like, yeah, as I was telling you, I'm like, yep, I really need to get back to that. Um,
What did you
tr
make?
I didn't. Well, we just like the things that she was a big wanderer, okay? And so she would get out of the house all the time. And so looking online, we put a child safety knob over the doorknob, and that helped for a little while. And then she figured it out. And then online, they tell you to put a latch up high on the door, and that's the number one recommended thing to do is put a latch high on the door because they won't look up to see it. It's in an unusual place.
Okay.
She just pushed a chair over, climbed up on the chair, and unlocked the door.
And now you have
And
another safety issue. She's climbing chairs.
exactly, she'd fall off and break a hip. Here we go. So it's like, okay, that's not going to work. So we tried a couple of different things, and what we finally came up with, those little metal door stops that flip down that hold a door open, we put it on the inside of the door and flipped it down. You can't open the door won't come open. And you can just casually, not even looking at it, flip it down with your foot. So you're not calling attention to it so she doesn't see it down there. And
Right.
that's what finally kept her in the house
Right.
and
You
kept
just
her.
kind of trial and error of a couple different products there.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Because everybody's different. And my mother-in-law was always looking up, and she'd look eye level and above. My mom always looked eye level and down. She would pick things up off the floor and trip and fall, and because she's always trying to pick something up off the floor. So you just really have to know your person, and then
Right.
we have to adapt from there. And that's where I work with caregivers. I do one-on-one Zoom consultations so that I can talk with them, learn about their situation, about their person, and then help them come up with ways to make life safer and easier,
Right.
because people are individuals, people are different, relationships are
Right.
different. It's not a one size fits all. We really have to work
Right.
together to figure it
I
out
imagine
what's
some people
best.
bring up like some financial difficulties too during that time when they're trying to make
Hmm.
those decisions about what to do. Are they going to afford, a one-to-one worker to come to the home, or are they going to go to a nursing home? How long are they going to last safely in the home? I'm sure that that all kind of ties together.
It does, and it's very stressful because
Yeah.
you're just all of a sudden thrown into this, and you're trying to figure out what kind of finances you're even dealing with in the beginning, and try to see where you are
Hmm.
to even have a starting point to go forward.
Right.
So, yeah, it's pretty stressful. And that's the thing is when you become a caregiver, you have to be an expert like overnight in all these different things. All of a sudden, you're
Right.
managing somebody's medication and all their doctor visits and healthcare, everything. You're managing all their finances, taking care of paying their bills and seeing what's there and what's not, and the insurance, and just it just goes on and on and on. And so that's why we created the Caregiver's Advocate. At first, it was just going to be one book, and I gathered people from 21 authors from 4 different countries. They weren't all authors, but 21 experts from different countries: elder law attorney, financial strategy expert, death doula, consultants.
Oh, so you really try to tie it all together.
Oh, a
Yeah.
wide range of people. I get a wide range of people. And a couple of different doctors in different areas. And so we have this so that you can hear from people coming from all different walks of life and having all different perspectives, and then they share their best tips and their information that they wish they would have known when they started. And then as the lead author, I talk to them about what topic they're going to be writing about, and I coordinate it so that everybody's not talking about the same thing. There's so many topics, we can spread them out and everybody can talk about something different, which is what we do. And when we finished Caregivers Advocate, the original, it flew up the charts, went to number one in all six categories in the US, number one in Canada, number one in Australia, top 50 in the UK. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is
So it sounds like you didn't have any
fantastic.
problem with advertising whatsoever.
No,
That's
it
good.
just exploded. I was so surprised, but people are so hungry for this information because more caregivers are being formed every day and more
Yeah.
people need the information every day and
So
baby
what
boomers are
new
aging.
information then came out in the second edition?
The second one covered different topics. So we had a lot of different, because you've got, POAs that have to be filled out and the financial experts that you need to talk to make sure you've got everything in order, trust, the difference between trusts and wills and all this kind of stuff, and ways to enhance your memory and to make your memory better and to
That's now
exercise your
that's an
brain.
interesting topic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And so for that, I got my friend who's a memory care expert in Israel, and Rena Yudkowsky. She wrote in volume one and two, and giving you tips on how you can improve your own memory and how you can use the tips to help others too. So and right now we're working on volume three. It is going to be released July 21st, 2026.
Wow.
It has more authors and more topics, more information because you've got things like mindset and traveling with someone who has dementia and, tips to be able to do that safer and easier and just activities to do with someone who has dementia. There's a whole host of things.
Now, do you consult with people mainly in the United States or outside of there at all?
My consulting is mainly the United States.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to people in
Right.
different countries. It's just most of them are in the U.S. I've had a few in Canada, but
And do you
mm,
find that you have to give different advice sometimes as far as like especially like legal stuff from state to state? Does that differ across?
it does. It
Yeah.
does. You have to because Department of Human Services and the DHS is going to be a little different, even by county. So you have to
Mhm.
do individual research to be able to give them
Right.
accurate information for where they live.
Right.
And then Canada, yes, it's a little different than here. And yeah, there are things that don't. And actually lived in Canada for 3 years.
Oh wow.
So yeah, so that was cool. Gave me a different perspective on how life is when you're living there, because it's not the same. If
Right.
if the government's paying for everything, then they're going to give you more rules.
Yeah.
I got $100 fine for my kid riding a bike with no helmet. I got another $100 fine for my other kid, rollerblading without knee pads on.
Oh
We,
wow.
we didn't even know you had to do that, but it's the law in Canada because they pay for your health care. So
Right.
you have to make sure you don't get hurt.
Interesting. That makes sense.
Uh, oh yeah. Oh yeah. I was like, another $100? What now?
So 3 years was enough there then.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah.
So are you still a caregiver in any aspect?
Um, well, it depends on how tight you want to frame that.
Right.
According to some people, yes. I've got a special needs grandson that's 8. He is autistic nonverbal. He's precious. We just love him, and he is exceeding all expectations that the doctors set for him.
That's
They said he
great.
would never walk or jump or anything else, and he
They said he
runs and
wouldn't
he rides a
walk.
bike. Yeah, yeah, because he's got a lot of muscular issues as
Oh, okay.
well as chromosome that's missing and stuff.
Hmm.
And so he's pretty cool. He spends most weekends with us, and so
That's
we
the
have a good
field
time.
where I have most experience. I've been a special education teacher for 20 years, specializing in autism
Oh,
at the
okay.
preschool level. Yeah.
Well, then.
Yep.
Yeah. And he graduated preschool. He is in first grade. We're so proud of him. So he's doing really well, but he has a person who stays with him all day
Okay.
and
But you
to
help when
help
you
him.
can too, it sounds like.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
we do.
that's good.
Yeah, he's sweet. So, but
So,
my parents have all passed now.
right. Right. So now that you kind of had that experience, you're just ready to pass it all on to everyone else.
hmm Help the others before I step into it again. My
Yeah.
husband is, and me also. I'm not, I mean, I'm
Hmm.
not as young as I used to be by any means.
So
And
are you
he's
using
he's
some of the
wonderful.
memory techniques that were recommended?
hmm
Yeah.
Yes, yes, because I think that when you care for someone with dementia, it makes you more acutely aware of your own memory.
Yeah.
And anytime you put down your cell phone in the wrong place, you're like, oh my gosh, am I getting dementia? No, you're not. Calm down, you know?
I already do that all the time, so
Oh, yeah, I'm like, no, hold up. And so I do talks on that too,
yeah.
because that's what really scares people is
Yeah. Like when you walk
they
into the room, you're like, why did I come in here? That's just when you
yeah,
have a lot going on.
yeah, and the
Yeah.
science of the door frame itself that causes your brain to shift gears.
Oh, is
So
that
if
what
you're
happens?
thinking, yes. So
Oh,
if you're thinking about what it is you're going into that room for, as you go through the doorway, you're way more likely to remember it. But if
right.
you think about it before and then you just walk through, you forget
Okay.
a lot. It's wild.
I'm glad to know that's normal, though. That's
Yeah.
reassuring.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because the thing is, can you correct it? See, that's the
Right.
question.
Right.
Can you course correct?
Well,
Can
yeah, as long as you're
you,
more aware.
yeah, can you
Yeah.
find your phone? Can you, realize there is a problem because people with dementia typically don't.
Right.
So,
Right.
yeah. Yeah.
So it sounds like you're pretty close to your next goal, which is to publish this next book. It's coming out in July.
Mhm.
What are your goals after that, business-wise?
Well, I am creating a website called The Caregiver's Advocate because we've created quite a movement behind the Caregiver's Advocate series. And at this point, there's about 60 authors that have contributed to it. So I'm creating a website so that people can go to that, learn more about the individual authors. We'll probably have a blog on there that different people contribute to, and just getting information out there and supporting. We may run a support group through that, probably
Yeah,
will.
that would be
Um,
beneficial.
yeah, yeah. And so I don't know where all it's going to go. I know that we're going to have recorded videos and
Yeah.
summits and things like that on it.
I was gonna
So
say, do you do all individual consultations or do you ever do like a support group on Zoom?
I have done a support family,
Okay.
but I personally haven't done support groups online,
Yeah.
only in person. But online that's what I'm looking at doing, is
Right.
moving to that,
Then
to
you can
be
reach
able
more
to reach
people.
more, right, right, to reach more people and allow it to be accessible for more people
Right. So
because
that's
it's
your
hard to
next
get them.
goal, like within the next year, is to reach more people, start with the website, get this information out there to more people.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
website, the blog, this book to get out. And then I
Yeah.
also want to do caregiver retreats. I want to do retreats where the caregiver and the care recipient go together on the retreat so that probably like an Alaskan cruise, so that you're on the ship, you have a great time together, you have memories that you can make together. We also have a registered nurse there, so in case you have any problems, you've got immediate help for
Oh,
someone who is
nice.
trained in those specific diseases. You have help from the time you get off the plane. We take care of the
Yeah.
luggage and take care of everything. You and your loved one get on the van and go to the hotel and
Oh, that's
go to,
nice because that's something they might not branch out and do otherwise because of the
right,
uncertainty with taking the person out of their comfort zone, you know?
right. And what if a medical emergency comes up? It's
Yeah.
scary. So we want
Yeah.
to take that away and then give them a couple of hours every day that the caregiver has time for themselves,
Right.
where we take care of the loved one.
Oh,
So
that sounds
you
wonderful.
don't have to worry about them. Yeah. And
Yeah.
then they also can bond with each other, with other caregivers who are going through similar experiences, because that's what helps a whole lot too, is to realize, hey, you're not alone. There
Right.
are other people in this too, and you can support each other and pull
Right.
together.
Yeah, that
So,
sounds like a really great plan, and I'm sure you'd want to post that up on the website to get that out to more people and available to more people. I
yes.
don't think you'd have any problem booking that.
I hope not. I mean,
Yeah,
I've got all these visions rolling around and I
yeah,
know what I want to do and I've got a lot of the people in place, and I think it will be so
yeah,
fantastic for caregivers because caregivers, you're isolated, you're home all day. In most cases, you're stressed out, overwhelmed. I know that. I've done it 3
right.
times. I understand that. And so my heart goes out to them. So I want them to have this break and to be able to create new memories with
Right.
this person that they're losing. And it's so
Mhm.
depressing, but yet you can both perk up and make great memories. And
Right.
and so I think it'll be wonderful.
Yeah, I think that's a great plan. So it sounds like you've had a lot of success. Have there been any challenges that you kind of had to overcome with your business or writing your books? Any hurdles?
That's the challenges.
Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, writing the book, finding the people. With the first book, it was challenging because I come from a business background and a deadline's a deadline. Everybody knows that. No, they don't. It turns out they
They didn't
don't.
respect the deadline. They needed some extra
No,
time.
no.
Yeah.
It's like, and I'm following up going, this was due Wednesday, right? Well, I know, but I mean, today's only Thursday. I'll get it in sometime this week. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Wednesday. The deadline's Wednesday. You want to
So
get it
that
in
pushed
Tuesday.
back your dates then a little bit.
Yeah, except that I just stay on top of them because
Yeah.
with the collaboration book, you can get thrown
Yeah.
off course really easy if people don't stick to their dates.
Right.
And so I just learned, it's a learning experience. So then the next one, I talked to them about deadlines before we ever started
Yep.
and how important they are. And it's important that everyone meet the deadline.
Right.
So yeah, so
Do you currently
it's
have any employees working for you?
no, not
Not yet.
employees. It's just me. I do have help. I mean, I
Right.
get my niece will support me some on the website stuff. My granddaughter's
Hmm.
great at it too.
Yeah.
And then I have friends who go and help different when I'm selling books and things like that. When I'm doing speeches and manning a book table, I always have volunteers who will come and help me. I've got
Yeah.
a great group
But
of
yeah, it kind of
people.
sounds to me like that might be in your future, like once you get this website out there and get this information out to more people, that you might need to hire some help.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've just got to figure out first how to make it pay for itself, which I think is
Right.
probably a membership program that we have
Right.
on the
Like a
Caregivers
monthly
Advocate.
fee of some sort.
Yeah, a
Yeah.
small monthly fee so that to have access to all the videos and everything.
Yeah.
And then a free section, of course, too.
I don't know if this will be any of help to you, but something I recently discovered was a website called School, Skool, and they have these
I am,
community groups.
yep,
I don't know if that's something that might in that area.
I don't
I'm not sure
know.
if that'd be cost efficient or if you'd get memberships there,
Yeah,
but
yeah, I don't know. I'm on several school groups, but I don't know. I'm not real excited about it so far.
right.
And I bought a Go Brunch platform because that's pretty cool too to do summits and things like that.
Yeah.
And they have, you create your own room in each one and it's a unique experience. So
Right.
hopefully that's worth the money. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, but it sounds like your business is expanding. You
Yeah,
know, you have a lot of changes right around the corner.
absolutely. Absolutely. Always moving forward.
Anything else you want to talk about with your books or your business before we wrap up?
Um, I have a blog on my website, thepurplevine.com. And the blog the blog you can read about whatever you want whenever you want. But I also have a weekly newsletter, and it only goes out one time a week, but it gives caregivers useful information. Again, there are no ads, there's none of that kind of
And this
stuff
is
at
an
all.
email group?
It's an email. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can join my email list on my website on the Purple Vine,
Yeah.
and then you can sign up to get the email. And so it's just helpful information and support and the newest research or medications or whatever, just to help caregivers so that they don't have to research everything. I bring it to them.
Right. That's
Mhm.
great.
So
So,
that's about
you
it. I
wanna?
do have some online programs too, but I don't really do much with them yet. I haven't found the right platform, I don't think.
You're still they're still in development.
They're
So,
well now they're out there. They're on learndesk.com,
okay,
the Purple Vine. But
like an e-learning platform.
yeah, yeah, I would like to find a different, more interactive platform.
Yeah.
So
It
that's
sounds like you
coming
need like
too.
one platform that kind of does it all for you with the e-learning and the Zoom meetings that you're having, like everything kind of in one landing page.
Yeah, except those are
Yeah.
usually really expensive.
Yeah. Yeah. You want something cost efficient too. Yeah, that's
Yes.
the thing. All right, well, do you want to meet again sometime if there's anything on my end that I can do to help to get more information out there to people?
Sure,
Okay.
sure. Yeah.
I will send you my calendar link and I promise to not mess up with the scheduling this time with the time zone. I promise.
Where are you located?
I'm in Pennsylvania, so I'm on New York time.
Eastern. Okay.
Yeah, so
Eastern time. Okay,
sometimes
gotcha.
those of
Yeah.
us in the East, we're just very presumptuous. We think that everyone's in the East, and that's not the case.
I've actually run into that a few times.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh,
Glad to know I'm not the first one to make that mistake.
no, no, you're not. But I mean, it gets more tricky when you're talking to somebody in
Yeah.
the UK or Israel, and it's, you got a six
Oh,
hour
then it's
time
several
difference.
hours of a difference.
6 hours, yeah. I'm like, oh, no. So anyway, well, it was very nice meeting you, and thank
It
you.
was
I
really
appreciate
great
it.
talking to you today and getting this information. I think I'm going to sign up for the newsletter myself just to like help with any
Great.
family members that are on the brink of this. It's good to have this information.
It is. It's good. It's so good if you can learn it ahead of time before you need it.
Yeah,
It's
and
very hard to be in the situation and then try to start playing catch up.
that's where I'm at with my mom and my uncle actually. So, not there yet, but it's around the corner, so it might be good to educate myself.
Yep. Yep.
Yep.
I had a gentleman who, on the first book, and he wrote that he laughed and he cried, and something about he knew it was going to be helpful for the train that he knows is heading to him.
Well, because of genetics, right? You kind
Yeah.
of it
And
repeats itself in families.
his grandma had it, his mom was getting it,
Mhm.
so he knew it was coming.
Yep.
So it's like,
Yep.
yep, you're wise to learn before you need it.
Yeah, I'm 42, so maybe I'll start now myself.
That's probably a good time.
Yeah, probably is.
All
All right.
right.
You have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too. Take
We'll
care.
talk again soon. Bye.
Okay. Bye.